Alright guys, so what's up? What's going on? Today's going to be a bit more of a fun concept for a video since I've been trying to get back into the swing of things, and I figured I could get an easy but fun video done and out of the way. We're ranking Skyrim's joinable factions. Now if you know me, which most of you don't, but I'm a huge fan of the Elder Scrolls, huge fan of Skyrim, so I figured I'd make a video ranking all of the joinable factions in Skyrim. And the bottom of the list, unsurprisingly, is the Blades. The Blades are down here as a matter of principle. They suck. Delphine is in contention for the worst character in fiction, I kid you not. There's almost no reason to kill Paarthurnax, and to side with the Blades in general in the main quest. The cons far outweigh the pros. You can only gain the Weeaboo Akaviri equipment, which it's cool, but it's not worth it. And there's a few followers, which in the end is nothing. And if you join the Blades, you lose the ability to use Paarthurnax's meditation, and you can't use Arngeir in High Hrothgar to track new words of power, which is a huge problem. Overall, there are many reasons to not join the Blades, and I would say just honestly avoid them. Why would you kill party snacks anyway? Just don't do that. Coming in next is going to be the Coven of Namira. There isn't really much to talk about here. The quest is memorable and it's really fun. The Ring of Namira is an alright Daedric artifact. I'm not a huge fan of it though, and I really just couldn't put this one any higher. Next is going to be the Bard's College. The Bard's College is having to go down here because obviously there's nothing. Viarmo gives you one quest. The Burning of King Olaf is cool at the end, but the only reason I ever find myself doing the Bard's College quest line is to unlock the Master Speech Trainer that is inside the Bard's College. Other than that, there's really no reason to do this quest. So the only reason I'm really going to put it above the Coven is because of the ability to have a Master Speech Trainer. Next up is going to be the Tribal Orcs. The Orcs are a very cool faction to join. I really like the strongholds, that they all have a different flavor of orky. You know, there's stuff like the Cursed Tribe, it's being attacked by giants. There's just some really cool things with the stronghold orcs. Also, you know, I know they're fetch quests, right? But most things in the Elder Scrolls are fetch quests, let's be real. But it's really cool as an outsider to do the fetch quests to get into the tribal orcs. It's really, really fun. You also get access to stronghold blacksmiths, which is really, really cool. And that's one of the main reasons that it's higher than the previous three. Also, another reason is just, I think the Malakath quest is really cool. I really like Vollenrungen as an artifact. So yeah, that's going to be that. Next is going to be House Telvanni. Now this is another one that gets elevated purely off of aesthetic alone. I am refusing to check my Dunmer bias here, and I will not apologize for it. Neloth is an amazing character, and I find him to be a more interesting character than anyone in that pathetic Outlander college that replaced the Mages Guild. Also, honestly, the Mushroom Tower is a really cool addition. Coming up next is the Greybeards. The Greybeards are a really good faction, and the better of the two, what would you call them? I guess the two factions of the main quest. Their tie to the main quest doesn't feel as forced as the Blades does. I don't see why the Blades really even need to be in the main quest. So the Greybeards feel a lot more natural. High Hrothgar is really, really cool. You get the ability to locate new shouts and use the meditation ability of Paarthurnax to upgrade your shouts, which is a solid resource. And I'm also, like I said, I'm just a huge fan of the characters. Arngeir is a cool Grand Master. The fact that some of the masters like Bori are completely silent and don't speak, and Paarthurnax in general is a really cool and interesting character. So these next two spots are going to go to the Civil War factions. I'm putting the Imperials in the bottom. The Empire is below the Stormcloaks purely for aesthetic reasons. The quest lines are completely identical. Both ideologies have their fair share of issues. I'm going to say that the Empire gets to be lower because I love the more Viking-oriented Stormcloak aesthetics, if that makes sense. Coming up next is going to be the Stormcloak Rebellion. The reasons for the Empire, like the cons, will apply here. The quest lines are completely identical. The ideologies kind of suck. But the main reason it edges it out, besides aesthetics, as I've already mentioned, is that I find attacking Whiterun to be more fun as a battle than defending it. Even though most of the characters I play will side with the Empire, I believe, as far as if we're just checking my bias here, we are going to find that the Stormcloaks are the more interesting quest line. Coming up next is the Dawn Guard, and there are some very nice things about the Dawn Guard. Their armor, weapons, and characters like Isran are all really nice. The breeding of the fighting trolls, I think, is really cool. That one Priest of Archay guy that sits there and talks to himself is really, really interesting. The addition of crossbows into the game was also very, very nice. But there are a few things that put them below the Volkihar clan, because, spoilers, they're next, and we'll get to that. Up next is the Volkihar vampires. There are a few key reasons that they're here. One is obviously the Vampire Lord form. The Vampire Lord form is super, super cool. And of course the castle, the entrance to the Soul Cairn, all that stuff that comes with Castle Volkihar, I think is just really interesting and is really, really cool. Next is going to be the College of Winterhold. Some of you may be surprised to see this up as high as it is. And to be frank, I really hate the quest line. It needed more time in the oven. It's definitely like not, I wouldn't say it's even rare. It's just not cooked at all. It's completely raw, right? And it beats everything before it basically because a ton of content was added to the college, just like the companions. Both quest lines kind of suck, but they're here because of all the content and just the genuine, I guess, deluge of content that was put into these factions. If you're going to be a mage character too, you got to do the quest line here. It gives you access to training for all the schools of magic and access to a bunch of vendors and to the college itself. Not to mention that the quest takes you to some interesting ruins. I mean, Sarthal and Labyrinthian are really cool. I've always found the Nordic ruins to be more interesting cities than a lot of the cities in the game. Also, you get to kill Ancano, who is a Thalmor wretch, so that is always good. Next is coming the companions. This quest line is also trash. It gets to be above the college because of the werewolf form, and the companions as a concept are cool. An elf hate group, you know, it's all really, really interesting stuff, I guess. The whole concept of Hircine worship and corruption. I'm a sucker for dark themes, so it's really nice. It's still kind of an off-brand of the Fighters Guild, and it's really not that fun, but it edges out the College of Winterhold by just a little bit. Now for the top two. The top dogs, the heavyweights. These are so far removed from 3 that I had to put a separation in this video. These are undisputed, but they are interchangeable. I'm misspeaking a lot today. The Thieves Guild is next. The Thieves Guild hits all the right notes for me. A daring heist, access to a cool faction headquarters and trainers, cool armor and weapon sets exclusive to the guild, a Daedric prince, a betrayal. Need I say more? The Skeleton Key is also a really cool artifact. Karlia, Brynjolf, Delvin, and Vex are all really cool characters. Not to mention all the really cool side characters like Rune, whose backstory is completely unknown, Nirwin, who gave up being a wealthy wine merchant in Valenwood to be a member of the Thieves Guild, and Raven Imyan, who used to be a member of the Morag Tong. I mean, I just believe the Thieves Guild really hits the spot, but there's one more faction I think edges it out today, but this honestly changes based off mood. And the moment you've all been waiting for, the Dark Brotherhood. Behold, the top of the list. Like I said before, these two are interchangeable for me, and I have a lot of fond memories playing through both of these faction quest lines. The Dark Brotherhood specifically, though, has more coolness, I'd say. The shrouded armor, kind of ninja get-up is really cool, even if it looks a bit funky. The Blade of Woe is an amazing weapon. I really like it, especially when I'm doing one-hand assassin builds. I think the Blade of Woe is a really solid weapon. And the Ancient Assassin stuff, you know, the quest to get the Ancient Shroud armor and the summonable Ancient Assassin is really, really solid. And the characters are diverse and interesting, just like the Thieves Guild. I mean, you've got Nazir, the Redguard contract giver, Babette the Vampire Child, And Astrid's husband is a werewolf. And of course, you've got Cicero and his weird obsession with an old woman's casket. The questline is memorable, and you can't really go any higher than killing the Emperor. That's what gives this the edge over the Thieves Guild. That's going to do it, guys. Ranking all the joinable factions in Skyrim. I know this was a rougher video. The audio is going to be rough, but I'm trying to really get back into making regular content. Obviously, there's going to be horror stuff coming up. I'm wanting to rewatch The Descent and do a video analyzing the crawlers from Descent. I think that'll be pretty cool. Some gaming stuff. I went to record 2 Dead by Daylight videos and a Hunt Showdown video, and my audio just got borked in every single one. So I decided I would just write the Skyrim joinable factions video and record it and let that be the end of it. That's all it's going to be it, guys. See you next time.